So we start with Kenny from the planet Earth. Kenny from the planet Earth. Do you remember what I said?
No, you're not like paying attention.
Okay, so I'll just recite it to myself now.
Okay.
This is, of course, meant to be an entertaining sort of tape. Yes. That's my new breed. Of course, I had to cut it down. All right, had to cut it down a little because I didn't have enough light at one time until I got 4 sodium vapor lamps on the wall. Then, of course, I had plants running just fine, including this guy, which is now outside also. And then I have my friend over there, and this friend, and my dad. Here. Well. Anyway, suppose the sun, okay, and suppose the orbit of this Earth that we are on, which is obviously not flat. So, I have found it that the rate of which anything spins depending on its mass compared to another attractive object from the force of gravity. I'll try not to forget what I'm saying here. I am really quite in altered state. So back to what I was saying. Okay, so mass, which is amount of matter taking up space, being, for instance, this log, this board, or whatever you could call it, beam, meant to be part of this porch. Obviously. Alright, now, I have found that the amount of force, theoretically at least, the amount of force required to keep an object afloat from an attractive one is equivalent to its level of rotation as well. In free space, free relative space, but that, anyway, if I didn't say this, is dependent on its mass. But it also causes rotation, but it depends on rotation. So to solve this paradox here, this would be equal to the rotation of the rotation multiplied by its mass divided by its distance for an equation. And that would equal literally an anti-gravity force, not a centrifugal force, but an anti-gravity force that could equal centrifugal force. If centrifugal force was the true case here, there would be also a lack of time and space That would be the radiation of energy that would no longer. That is the energy. Energy, inertia, motion. Energy transfer. So energy, of course, is constantly on the move, no matter what, as long as it is kinetic energy here. So the inertia in a state like that is much like a particle as a wave, just as said by Albert Einstein and worked with by Heisenberg. This is my father's bicycle. He has it well decorated. But to speak, true anti-gravity force is equal to centrifugal force, but it is a transfer of energy that places it into motion. In other words, work done. Through conservation of momentum. So it's like centrifugal force, but is actually more related to particles and waves. Is the makeup of space and time. So time is the opposite of this force, therefore is displaced and bent to form space. So space and time are two differently acting types of each other, but not because of just relation or just quantum mechanics, but both. And the result is thermodynamics, so it is all a result of energy. Space and time are a cosine value. Energy is a sine value, respectively. Is energy, therefore, that makes up space and makes it matter, like Einstein said. But as a result of future against past. Well, there's another one of my fuck ups. Anyway, it all comes from energy. It all comes from energy. That's the point. It all comes from energy. But it's neither quantum mechanical nor relative. or isotropic or anything like that is warped. All matter and energy come from a warp in time. That's what I was trying to say. It all comes from a warp in time. And what I mean by that, space is cosine and that energy is sine, is that it takes energy for this current in this power line powering this transformer or this guy down here to alternate. That alternating current is equally a result of work, and the work is the conversion of energy in true form. So it turns into electromagnetic radiation, and it moves through space, and it's converting matter to energy, but only due to the fact of a time period and that space exists. Otherwise, nothing would be. Except for one thing. Infinite density. With the exception that time is now displaced. Say that time would be displaced at the point that there's a singularity. At the point that there is no time, there is nothing but. There would then, of course, be nothing but space, and at a point nothing but space at this point, since everything is a result of a warp, it spins everything around until it explodes. Just so you know. Gotta go. I think my friend here really wants some conversation. So I gotta go, okay? No. I gotta go. I'm saying it to the camera. This is meant to be funny. Okay, so it was. Okay. But anyway, what I'm saying here is that at the instant that time does not exist, but that motion does, because at this point there would be nothing but pure motion. The result is energy, and then, of course, thus the Big Bang and all quantum mechanics. Much like an electric motor, but gravitationally driven. So there is possibility of energy from gravity, just so you know, and the Big Bang did happen. And if you disagree, I don't care. Bye. Hi, Ken. I disclaim this because I'm very, 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 very stoned. Thank you.